The royal nursery aboard the high cruiser Valerian's Grace echoed with shrill, piercing cries. Even behind soundproof doors and walls reinforced with vibrating silencer fields, the infant's wails found a way to slip through, sharp as needles, frantic as panic. Nurses of the Zalari species rushed about the chamber, glowing blue tendrils waving helplessly as they tried in vain to calm the baby, the daughter of Queen Thalzyra, ruler of the 12 sectors. Nothing worked. Not the lullabies sung in 6 harmonics. Not the gently glowing moss toys from the forests of Kelzer. Not the warm nutrient vapors or gravity-cushioned cradles. Princess Ixaly, barely 5 lunar cycles old, cried without pause. Her skin, pearlescent and veined with bioluminescence, flared erratically. Her distress was disrupting nearby navigation systems. And still her mother, Queen Thalzyra, stood motionless in the observation chamber above, watching with narrowed eyes, her second heart pounding with a fear she refused to admit. "This is beyond us," one nurse finally whispered. "Perhaps it is not nourishment or environment," another added cautiously. "Perhaps she mourns something deeper. Some connection denied." The queen's tail twitched. Her golden armor rustled faintly. "Explain." "There is an ancient tale," said Chief Nurse Varel hesitantly, "of an infant born under the halo storm, just as your daughter was. It is said that such children are not only bonded to their mothers by blood, but to the first essence that accepts them. First touch. A chosen guardian of sorts." Thalzyra's eyes glowed. "You speak of superstition. Desperation breeds risk, Majesty," Varel murmured. "And we've exhausted everything else." Miles below, deep within the cargo bay of the Valerian's Grace, John Mercer scrubbed his hands and face in recycled water, trying to forget the events of the day. He was the only human aboard the royal ship. Mechanic. A war bounty, technically, but one whose mechanical skills had proven too valuable to imprison. He lived alone, mostly unnoticed by the crew, and liked it that way. Then the guards came. 2 of them. 12 feet tall, armored in bone ceramic plating. "You are summoned by the Queen," one boomed. John blinked. "What? Me?" He stood awkwardly in the royal nursery minutes later, his jumpsuit still smeared with grease. "Approach," Queen Thalzyra commanded. The child's cries made it hard to think. The shrieking was primal, something no species could ignore. John looked into the floating bassinet and saw her. Tiny, trembling, her luminous skin red from crying, silver tears running down her cheeks like quicksilver. And something tugged at him. Not duty. Not fear. Something else. Slowly he reached down. The nurses tensed. The guards did too. But when his rough, calloused human hands gently lifted the baby, everything changed. The crying stopped, like a switch had been flipped. She hiccuped once, then curled her fingers around his thumb and let out a soft, sleepy sigh. Her skin pulsed a warm glow. Silence fell over the room. Queen Thalzyra's breath caught. "She chose him," someone whispered. From that moment everything changed. John was no longer the overlooked mechanic in the cargo bay. He was now the caretaker of the chosen heir. Position with no precedent. Palace functionaries scrambled to rewrite protocols. Nobles gasped. Courtiers hissed. A human bonded with the Queen's child. This is madness. But the Queen silenced them all. If my daughter sleeps in his arms and only there, then he is the one she has chosen. Let none challenge it. John's days became filled with soft lullabies, feedings, rocking her gently through simulated gravity fields, and awkwardly trying to understand Zalari infant anatomy. And despite the strangeness of it all, he didn't hate it. In fact, He grew to love the little creature. Ixaly would coo when he entered the room, gurgle with joy when he held her high. Sometimes she mimicked his English with warbled nonsense that sounded like, "Da." He never meant to care. But her tiny fingers curled around his every defense. One night, as he cradled her beneath the crystalline canopy, Queen Thalzyra entered the room alone. She was radiant, terrifying, and regal, yet tonight her eyes held something softer. "She dreams of you," she said. "Even in stasis, her mind reaches for your scent, your voice." John rocked Ixaly gently. "She's a good kid. Just needed someone to show up, I guess." The queen's gaze pierced him. "And yet why you? You're not Zalari. Not noble. Not even part of this war." John looked down. "Maybe she felt I didn't want anything from her. Everyone else here bows or obeys. I just held her. No titles. No expectations." The queen's tail flicked slowly. "You speak as if you know loss." He nodded. "I lost a daughter once. Earth colony crash. She was about the same size. Same lungs, too." He smiled sadly. "Never heard silence sound so loud until she was gone." Ixaly brought it back. Time passed. Whispers of peace talks began to circulate. Strange alliances. Even stranger emissaries. Then an assassination attempt. A rogue noble, angry at the queen's shameful bonding with a human, tried to release a toxin into the nursery chamber. John stopped him. The wound on his side nearly killed him. He recovered in the infirmary, bruised, barely conscious, until he awoke to find a small, glowing face pressing against his cheek. Ixaly had crawled across the infirmary floor just to reach him. Her little hands glowed as they touched his wound. The bioluminescence spread across his skin. The pain dulled. He stared at her, blinking tears. "Thanks, kiddo." Later, Queen Thalzyra visited him, silent. "She would not eat until she saw you," she said. "She would not sleep either. The bond." "I know," John whispered. They looked at each other for a long moment. No translator was needed. When the peace accord was signed, Earth and the Zalari kingdom formally ended hostilities. At the ceremony, Queen Thalzyra stood tall beside John. In her arms was Ixaly, now giggling and wearing a ceremonial circlet. "Let all witness," the queen proclaimed, "that the future of our people depends not on power, but on compassion, on unexpected bonds, on one who answered a child's cry." The galaxy listened. In time, John became more than a caretaker. He became a voice in the court, a bridge between species, a father truly not just by title. Ixaly called him D, even during official audiences. The queen never corrected her. And sometimes, late at night, he would carry the little princess to her cradle, humming earth lullabies. She would grip his finger even in sleep. And the galaxy, so vast, so cruel, so alien, would feel just a little smaller, just a little warmer. Because once upon a time, a baby cried, and a human man held her. And everything changed.